What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to YGGSPL. My name is RoguePatton, and tonight I'm kind of doing a random video here. I have started a tournament in YGGSPL where we are using a kind of a just a Web 2 service. It's a free to use service. It's called Challenge. Challenge. I don't know. This was a tournament format company that I was using back when I was doing a Force of Will tournaments, and that seemed to be kind of like the go-to tournament structure for us. So I decided to try and implement something like this for the YGGSPL community as well. So I got 10 people to jump in for this first inaugural look. Didn't have any prizes. It was just kind of a proof of concept is what we're going for. So in this style of tournament, it's challenges, best of 5. So you have to schedule time with your opponent in order to do that. And then you report your best of 5 matches, to me, or you come in here and report them yourself, and we can play a Swiss style tournament in this way. So with these 10 people, we got to go 4 rounds in a traditional Swiss tournament. For those that don't know, a Swiss tournament is essentially where you're always guaranteed to play somebody of the same rank in your tournaments, right? So after round 1, I was 1-0, Keith was 1-0, Dishonesty was 1-0, Pennis was 1-0, and Max was 1-0. So there were 5 people that were 1-0 and 5 people that were 0-1, right? So the next round, it pairs as many of the 1-0s together as possible and as many as the 0-1s together as possible, with only one overlap of winners and losers. So Pennis got paired down with Legacy in this one, but everybody else is just playing the people that won. And so that's the way like a Swiss tournament's supposed to go. So, our single elimination tournaments in Splinterlands kind of serve this function, but just the idea of a single elimination is it sucks. Like one and done, and like that's it, no recovery. In a Swiss tournament, most of the time in Swiss tournaments, when you're trying to make a day 2, you're allowed to go like X1-1. You're allowed to have 1 draw and 1 loss and still be in the top cut to go into the next day for the most part, depending on size and all that. So, there's a little bit more flexibility there, but then you're also playing like as your tournament progresses, your players are getting harder and harder. In our current tournaments, for the most part, the anytime tournaments do not do a good job of that at all. You're randomly paired with just a pool of 10 people, and there's some RNG in there whether or not you're playing elite players or not. And then even when it trims down to day 2 is still top 40% or something along those lines. So even then, it's not exactly the most elite group in day 2 in a lot of these tournaments. So Swiss offers that level of competition in tournament organization. And so, yeah, I just kind of tapped into some of my roots from the trading card days and built this. I like this feature because it gives us the ability to also vote on matches as well. So there is there's not only a tournament bracket going on, but there's also like a fantasy style of guessing and matches as well. It's still got to be hashed out on whether or not we're actually, like, if more than just the participants can do the voting, because I think when I go, like, if proof of concept works good and like this is something that we enjoy, I want to open this up more and maybe put some of our internal tournament funding to tournaments along these lines. So looking forward to that in February. We'll definitely launch in all leagues. We'll go diamond, gold, and silver, as well as bronze. Probably do 1 tournament a month of each, and have the tournament run the whole month, because that's the other thing, is like we're an international guild. We've got people all over the globe in every time zone. So, the way that I have it set up really is there's no time limit, but we have that soft time limit, or like an I said so type of time limit. Like there's nothing here that progresses it if that's ever disobeyed. But we have like a 3-day is essentially what I started at. I was like, you've got 3 days to complete your matches, and then we move on to the next round. And so far it worked. We got through round 1 in like 2.5 days, 2 days, or something along those lines. We're working into round 2 now. So pretty exciting. Very excited for this. And then we'll see kind of what we build from this going forward. But of the participants that we have so far, what I thought that this would do for me as well is open up the opportunity to make content specific to gameplay. And so what I've decided is, like, in a normal trading card tournament, you're seated at like table 1, table 50, table whatever, based on kind of your rank. Table 1 is always, the most undefeated players, right? Like your number 1 and number 2 are oftentimes at the number 1 table. So most of the time, streamers or content creators will set up on table 1 or set up in the top 4 tables or something to make sure they're always, especially later in the rounds, getting top play and top content, going into this. So I'm kind of going to do the same concept. I took myself as table 1 in the first one, myself and Shylin, and then Dishonesty and Keith Ray are table 1 in round 2. They were the other undefeateds other than myself and Max. So I've got those first 2 rounds pulled up, and I figured we would go over those matches and see what Gladius type of content looks like. I know that we don't specifically have a lot of gladiator specific content on meta discussions or stuff along those lines, so we'll talk about that as we go through here. But thank you guys for being here. Also, please let me know in the chat how we're doing. I want to try the other thing that I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to run like a poll, and it's not letting me, and I don't know why. So I'm trying to put like a who will win, because I want to do that on the weekend challenge tomorrow. I want to run something like this, and I can't get it figured out in Twitch because I keep trying to start the poll and it's saying service error. Try again in a moment, and it's just giving me this repeatedly. And so I don't know what's up with that. Maybe we'll try it again here in a little bit. But jumping into the first round, first game between Shylin Knight and myself. Let's go ahead and click Rumble here and see what the rule sets were. We were looking at Reverse Speed and Earthquake in Bronze Wild with Gladius tournament, or with Gladiator cards. So at 24 mana, I felt like we did have a lot of freedom in these colors to pick like some decent flyers. But I went with a Magic Life Leech strategy, mainly because of the reverse speed. There's not a lot of slow flyers out there, and Magic, or specifically Thaddeus Brood, has a slower team going into this. Blue is not necessarily slow. Red is also not slow from the areas that attack in all positions, but red also doesn't have shields or flyers, really, for the most part. So that's usually not a go-to for me in Earthquake matches anyway. Dragons do have a ton of flyers, but they're all relatively expensive. So to try to fill out a full team that way, and then the majority of the flyers aren't really slow. Like in Bronze, you're talking, you've got the Chaos Dragon, you've got the Void Dragon. Those are the first two that are coming to the top of my head. But so yeah, I chose this lineup anticipating Magic. honestly, because I went with magic. I was anticipating magic, and I went with this sustain strategy for the most part. Stay low, stay nimble, and just with this little bit of life leech, be able to last 3 turns and maybe get a couple bloodlust triggers here with the witch. That was my concept there. And then my opponent, Shy, ended up going with a big chaos dragon up front, just a ton of health and a ton of shields, and was just going to rely on the bloodlust coming off of the opportunity here to sustain this creature. Good strategy, honestly, and there was something that we ended up talking about at the end of this. But yeah, there was also kind of a misplay on my part. I ended up playing I played a, what was the name of that card? The Scavenging Ooze for in a reverse speed match that I really kind of had no business doing that. But it ended up okay. But realistically, you don't want to slow your opponent down at all going into those kind of matches. But I ended up going for the meat shields, and that was also point number 2. Point number 2 is that running meat shields in gladiator matches isn't it's not the best call, right? But is actually the difference in this game. So it's like you have to be able to make that meta call, like when you're going into this, is my opponent running enough to take advantage of those and to get some critical like bloodlust triggers, or is it better to really just kind of increase the number of people that you have on that on your team, right? So yeah, Scotty Fortune, Y Ooze, 100%. I had no business playing Ooze. I ended up putting together just I think I was looking for 1 mana stuff there at the very end when I was slamming this together. But no, the main things that I was looking at was the Bone Golem in position 1, having the Witch and the Life Leech here, and then having a Flyer not at the very back, but also not at the front either, for that kind of just a 1-cost sustain Flyer, just in case we get to the point where like we're in those rounds where we just don't have any health. I at least have 1 creature that isn't being hit by Earthquake. So that was the general strategy here. And yeah, we got that first trigger here. But if I wasn't running the heavy magic team, like it would have bit me. It would have bit me in the rear pretty good. But I went into this thinking magic had to be the play. And he only ran 2 monsters, so my little bit of magic damage did help quite a bit. Quite a bit. But thanks for being here, Scotty. I appreciate you. So we ended up getting that one. And then we moved on to this next one. In this next match, it was a very typical Korra play, except I didn't anticipate fully. Like, I didn't anticipate my opponent fully going with Korra. Low mana, green is an option. Korra is damn near hands down the play all the time. But in the Health Equalizer match, knowing how expensive Korra is, I didn't know if Korra would still be a play in Health Equalizer. So I brought Affliction just in case, right? Just in case Affliction is the best answer for Korra. And because of 15 mana, they couldn't do Llama Korra or anything along those lines, right? Like, I didn't have to worry about Llama in that sense. But then for the Health Equalizers, that's where I brought my Life Leechers. I love, in low mana, running Life Leechers in a Health Equalizer. In this situation specifically, this is where I feel very comfortable. Like, 0 cost, 11 meat shield. 1 cost, 11 meat shield. 1 cost, 11. 33 hit points worth of damage in my first 3 spots, and I only spent 2 mana to do it. Right? So that's where running the high health can kind of get you into trouble. But what we end up finding out here is that the enrage function really doesn't stop Korra in this sense. And I'm totally confident during this whole round. I'm like, this is great. I've got so much health. I don't care. There's no way that Korra ends up getting through like my entire team. Plus, like, my 11 meat shields are now getting up to 16 damage. So like that first one hits, I didn't get affliction there. I didn't get affliction there. So I missed affliction twice at this point. Finally stuck it on the third try. But at this point, she's bloodlusted 3 times. She's dealing 10 damage per turn. But I'm still doing the math, and I'm like, okay, except I missed. And even now, I'm like, all right, everything's still fine. Nope. Nope. I was so mad. I thought I had Korra dead to rights. Dead to rights. But I didn't. That enrage feature made her a little untouchable. Even after we landed the affliction, she was still just going to town. 2 hits per turn, super fast, super big. Even, what was that? My life leechers had 18, 20 health by the time they dropped into first position. They were still getting like in 2 hits. So yeah, still can't do a Korra. Cannot do a Korra. But the affliction is one of the biggest things that you can bring in those matches, is try to find a low mana affliction to go with you. So in this match, we had a 99 mana match. These are where you just throw money into the game and you're just like, just run all the expensive stuff. So fun facts, I actually don't own a kitty. And I don't even rent kitty, like especially not level 1 kitties. This was a recent rent strictly because of Splinterforge. Because of Splinterforge, I decided to rent a kitty. And so I just so happened to have it in this match. So I just went big. We went kitty, Grum into the chimney wall stop, had a resurrect with our taunter in the back. Just bringing heat. Health equalizer and shields. That makes the Mortius really good. Mortius usually has 4 health, but right now he's sitting at 11. He just feels good. And Shylin went with a very good strategy here, of very traditional strategy of running the Legionnaire with a resurrect. And absolutely nothing wrong with that strategy. It's really good, especially in a health equalizer, because in health equalizer, there's actually not it's not a good play to spread your damage out a lot, because you can get into trouble when everybody's got big health and you're doing like a sneak in opportunity and attack in the front. You're not going to kill anything, and you're going to lose advantage on the field pretty quick. And so this is also why in health equalizer matches, I like to try to throw a taunter in there, is to force that split damage that in my opinion is suboptimal. So that's what we ended up doing there. Plus at 99 mana, usually in health equalizer, like we saw in the 1 health equalizer, we had 15 mana. You try to keep that team as low as possible, because at 15 mana, if you're going over 10 HP, it's because you're playing you're playing like 1 card or something along those lines. And in this case, at 99, you're already playing your biggest cards. Don't worry about the health equalizer aspect so much. But the Legionnaire River Hellendale combo is really good in the health equalizer, because for the most part, your opponent's going to be coming at your first tank. And guaranteeing a resurrect on your Legionnaire, even though it doesn't have taunt, like understanding the rule sets or being able to predict when your opponent's not going to attack from anywhere but the front, is a great time to land that combo, and he did in that one. Talking to him later, though, he just said he had no confidence in his 99 mana match, because I guess he doesn't have anything but the Chaos Legion cards or something along those lines. So round 4 was actually a little sad for me. I was playing on mobile the whole time, and mobile is nice, but playing on the iPhone, you run into this glitch where you go to rearrange your teams on the side, and by clicking and letting go and like moving around one of the things, you like end up clicking on some kind of link or something that takes you to a Google search page where you're searching for a random three-digit number. And so like it completely takes you out of Splinterlands and goes to a Google search page, and you're just like, ah, crap. And then you have to end up going back, resubmitting teams entirely. And so when I was doing my final adjustments on my team, that ended up happening. And by the time I got back, I wasn't able to actually submit a team. It surrendered on me. So I ended up taking a loss in round 4. And so we had this epic round 5. So in round 5, we ended up in another reverse speed and earthquake. I know that white does a really good job of flyers. So, you know, we were running the Harpy, we were running the Light Elemental and the Thunderbird. And I also ran the extra shields just to maintain, or just to try to get a little bit more rounds out of my creatures. And so just running wide ended up helping us out there. The timing on his Katie going into my back line and popping shields instead of health, well, it worked out really good. Like just being Grandmaster Wraith, I think, was the mirror breaker in that one. In the fly, having my stuff already flying, but giving everything +1 shield and making sure that magic can't go around that. That was, I think, the best call in that situation. So yeah, twice Shylin ended up with a smaller. In both of the earthquake matches, he chose big flyers in that front tank position in the Chaos Dragon and in the Uraeus, but wasn't able to fill out the rest of the team. And so I think we just were able to chip away very efficiently in those situations. I always try to go with a full 6-person team whenever possible. No matter how low the mana is, I'm always trying to put 6 creatures on the board, right, to maintain that. So we ended up taking them down 3-2 go, and we got our first point on the board, and we pushed into round 2. So after that, today we had results from Dishonesty and Keith Ray, 2 guys from the Niflheim Brawlers group. Dishonesty's been an awesome guy in the YGGSPL Discord. He's been a super champ in advocating for competition and to making sure that, you know, his people are involved in brawls and participating at the highest levels. So big hats off to him. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing his play in this tournament because I've actually never gotten to play him. Already looking at this, I'm like, bruh. He's got, you know, the Magi of the Forest at level 2. We've got a Minotaur here. We've got the Korra at level 2. Wolf. I don't even have a single Korra, so like maybe I shouldn't be saying that on camera, but like going into this tournament, nobody's got to worry about Korras coming out of my deck because I don't have any. But that is where we're at. So I'm actually going to be watching these for the very first go around here. I see a lot of mana. So we've got 52. This is a new ability. It's the Ferocity, where everybody has Fury. And then we've got the no sniping, no sneaking. So in some of these rule sets, let's see, blue's not an option. We've got green, red, and black. In the no snipe, no sneak, opportunity is sometimes a really, really good play, but I think there's a mana cap to that. I think at 52, I don't think you have enough opportunity monsters to run that efficiently. going into this, but we are seeing Immortalis versus the Mylor. Heavy magic here, heavy magic here. So Mylor, not really a play so much. It will be on the Quora and the Warlord, but that Warlord's gonna do more damage back here than the Thorns will to him, I think. This Immortalis, the negative health and the Void, so like his whole team is not gonna do any attack. So he's gonna get 2 out of the Cron, 1 out of the Goblin Psychic, but got 3 heals going at this Quora up front, but wasn't able to survive. Oh my goodness, 3 things. 3 instances of heal and couldn't get past. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The Runemancer back here just hitting hard. 3 instances of heal, and that Quora is dead in round 2. Woof. And that Minotaur just damn near took out the whole team itself with Reflection. And now this Quora is just stepping in as tank 2, and she's just untouched. Quora was not even like the carry tank in that one. Woof. Amazing. So yeah, the Minotaur is definitely one of those cards that, for those that were around and got it, good for you. Good for you. Wow, look at these guys. These guys are stacked. Look at this Dishonesty down here with the Ulrich. Keith Ray rocking the Mylor again. Quora again. I guess that's, I mean, if you've got the mana, so they've got another high mana game here. But we're seeing a very old traditional strategy here of Kraken backed up with magic. This Runemancer Kai, like this is usually like a Spirit Miners, Ruler of the Sea type of that you would usually see parked behind a Kraken. But just seeing this is nasty. And then we've got 1 heal on the Kraken with the plus magic. I wonder, again, using a Mylor and not getting any advantage out of the Mylor except for Kraken here. But like Kraken's not even going to take any of this. So I'm curious if Keith Ray owns the Immortalis, because like an Immortalis here could have been helpful maybe. I mean, I'm already counting him out and I have no idea how this plays. So like maybe no, there's no way. He doesn't get out of this. But yeah, maybe the Immortalis kind of helps negate this onslaught here. But man, even this, like this Bloodlust in the back here was just, did a really good job of diversifying the damage here. We went 2 range attacks, 3 magic attacks, and a Kraken, right? So even though leaning on Ulrich there for the magic buff, not fully committing to just magic spam. That was actually really smart, bringing a Bloodluster in the very back and tucking it back there with security, knowing that your Kraken's up front with taunt. Nothing is going to touch your Bloodluster for a minute, right? So maybe you can get a couple of triggers before maybe some sneakers would be unleashed. But man, even then, by the end of that, 759, that's a big thing in the back. Like you ain't touching that. Having that crustacean there in position 5 too, that was going to be gross, because even in the world where like you get through the Kraken, you get through the Oceanus, you get through the Trident, now you've got this Life Leecher that's just been going for however many rounds, and you've got a healer right behind it. So like it started the game healing for 3, but by the time this thing Life Leeches for Lord knows how much, it might be up to 20 health by then, and that thing's gonna heal for 6 every time, get to 21, heal for 7. Like, oh, rough. So yeah, this was just a nasty lineup to try to get through. That was a lot of HP, a lot of damage, and a lot of synergy on the Dishonesty team. So kudos to Dishonesty. Not looking forward. Plus, this is a really full deck at this point. Like he's played 3 pretty unique summoners, right? The Immortalis is pretty unique. Not a lot of people are running that one yet. Running the Ulrich, that's a pretty heavy rental card. And then now he's running the Delwyn, the Dragon Scale here. So let's see. He doesn't have any rares, so he's not taking advantage of the fact that this is an epic summoner and that in this bronze he can run level 3 rares. Doesn't seem to be taking advantage of that. But Keith is leaning on Kitty here. Gonna get really fast and has True Strike, so that will be helpful. I see some opportunity hits here. Oop, here is going to go first. So yeah, the half on the Chihuahua is going to be nice. That'll knock it down to 2. That'll be good. Axemaster. We'll see how many dodges you can get on Axemaster. This is a very sneak heavy team. So really just got to get some dodges here, I think. But we'll see how this ends up playing out. I think the speed from Kitty might help quite a bit. I don't like Demon Shark in bronze. Oh, there's a miss. Oh, the opportunities are going for... Oh, the Divine Shield helps as well. So 1 miss, 1 Divine Shield, and we still have an Axemaster that's standing. Got a Bloodlust trigger on the Vorst. So that was super helpful. Now it's almost like the chains are off. The Halfling Alchemist being able to take 3 shots, 1 from the Divine Shield, 1 from the regular shield, and then 1 to die, is very helpful in this match. So let's see. We got another Bloodlust trigger. That'll help. That'll survive another 2 shots from the back line. The big question is, oh, the trample and the miss. 50% chance of missing there. And we got Bloodlust triggers. We're off. This heal that Demon Shark able to sustain as long as it did with as little health as it had. Yeah, let me run that again. 39% seems about right for like Dishonesty. Maybe should have. No, Dishonesty was about a coin flip, but on the low end of a coin flip. Okay. So yeah, those misses, not too bad. This one opportunity here, that's definitely rough, you know, bringing that. I mean, it is the best gladiator card that we have in bronze. So like, in blue, totally understandable to bring that beast with you. But in a Divine Shield match, it's very hard because, you know, like we were saying, the Halfling Alchemist was able to take a shot for the Divine Shield, a shot for the regular shield before it died. Like a 2-mana card, guaranteed 3 shots before it dies, right? Like, and your opponent brought 3 sneakers, right? So a whole round of 3 attacks are going into your 1-2 mana card. That's very effective. So, but to bring 1 opportunity creature, that's guaranteeing that you're going to take at least a couple turns to get through one thing just yourself. So yeah, but I'm glad that worked out for Keith. So Dishonesty's up 2-1 now, going into round 4. And we've got Keith Ray on a Llama Korra, but not running Korra in the final position. What happened here? Not running Korra in the final position, but having all of these. Let's see how this plays out. Does Korra die? Oh, there's no healing. Oh, brought a Korra to a no heal match. A 21 mana no heal match. And spent 10 of the mana on 1 card. Oof. Yeah, this is a very... Oh, the Halfling! Oh, the Halfling is just knocking the Korra, but it doesn't matter because the Llama is just cleansing the Halfling before Korra is going into attack. So we'll see how many... Oof, those are some triggers. This is big. This is big. Can it sustain? the shield. Let's go. That shield came in clutch. The perfect amount of health. One more Bloodlust trigger. And I don't know if that works out well for Dishonesty there. But Dishonesty killing Korra 3 times. In every one of his wins, he took out a Korra. My goodness, this man is not afraid of Korra at all. So 0% chance on that. But it didn't look like it. Like from our perspective, it looked like it was just a game of inches, right? But yeah, running that Korra in the final position and having it being the last one standing, that was actually interesting to have it positioned way up there. But having Dishonesty run all the attacks into the back line to give the Korra enough time to be the last one standing. The timing of that, just being able to cleanse past the halfling the halving is just woof. So we are at that point 1 Bloodlust trigger, and it's just the timing, having magic go first and then going into and being at 6 and 6. 6 and 6. Oh my goodness, that was it. And one attack too low, 1 speed too slow, and Korra goes down. So Dishonesty takes that 3-1 over Keith Ray. A little bit of team killing action, but I mean, at the end of the day, this whole tournament is team killing action. So like, I don't know. That's just what we got to get to, in my opinion. Steel sharpens steel. So this is good training for us to get around to this. But I appreciate you guys stopping out tonight and letting me show off some of the battles from this tournament that we've been running. If you are in the YGG SPL Discord, please keep an eye out for the next one that we end up doing. And if you can, jump into this tournament and see if you can do some voting in the challenge website. I have it posted in the YGG SPL Discord, but see if you can do some of the voting, because I think this is something that I want to maybe attach some prizes onto as well, like the fantasy aspect of it, right? Depending on what the data looks like for this coming out. But yeah, I think it could be really, really fun. But I was not able to get the voting figured out tonight. I am very disappointed in that. I was hoping. Who will win? I wonder. Nope. Do I have to put a... It's just a service error. I might have to look into that. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for stopping out tonight. Make sure you guys are around tomorrow here in, 3.5 hours, maybe 4 hours. Our boy Demore is getting on for the Asian European YGG Weekend Challenge. And then tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern, I will be back doing our Saturday night Weekend Challenge. So make sure you guys swing by, participate in that tournament, participate in the chat, and just continue to be awesome. But we will see you guys around, everybody. All right, GG.